Let Lita take you on a journey of faith, life, travel, and interior design. Take your life out of the status quo and into 2020. Status Life with Lita is brought to you by Status Home Design and by the law office of Derek M. Hayes at 404-777-HURT.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Status Life with Lita on Business RadioX. We are broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio in the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. On every episode of Status Life with Lita, we take you on a journey of faith, life, travel, and interior design. We want to take your life out of the status quo and into 2020. My name is Derek Hayes, and it's my pleasure to introduce the star of the show, Miss Lita Brooks. Good afternoon, Lita.
Good afternoon.
Great to be here as always. Before we begin, a quick reminder that Status Life with Lita is brought to you by Status Home Design, your one-stop shop for all your home and gift needs, the Status Market, your online store, and by the law office of Derek M. Hayes. Injured in Georgia? Make the right call to the law office of Derek M. Hayes at 404-777-HURT. Let's get started.
Okay.
I want to start with a recap. Can we do that?
No.
Okay, fine.
You know
so
why?
Much for my plan.
Because what is today? Are you skipping right over this monumentous day in our life?
Oh, I didn't know we were going to make it part of the
Hello?
podcast, but absolutely. 2.5 years ago today, for the first time ever, I got to see your face.
I guess because we're still dating, we can do the half years. I don't think people married really do half years anymore, but for us, it still counts, right?
Oh, it's a monumentous achievement.
2.5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. There's the applause.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, happy anniversary, honey.
Happy anniversary to you as well.
It's
2.5 wonderful, wonderful years.
Yes, it has. It's
Just
been
the start.
action-packed, that's for sure.
Oh, never
Yeah.
a dull moment.
No,
That's for sure.
no.
So we're going to recap.
No, we're not going to recap.
We're not going to recap the 2.5 years.
That'll be for another show, right?
I mean, I can start, but that's okay. We'll
That's okay.
save that one for another one, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
All right. Well, let's talk
can't
about what
breeze
we've
over
been
that.
doing in your shows in Status
Okay.
Life with Lita. We've been taking everyone on a journey to healthy living. And in doing that, we've had some terrific guests. We've had Crystal Edwith. We've also had Lisa Mohajeh.
Mohajeh, you said
I
it
got it right,
correctly.
right?
Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to start with Crystal. So if you're catching this podcast and you haven't caught the last few, we did a 3-part series with Crystal. She is a nurse practitioner specializing in women's health. And man, was that educational.
And it wasn't limited to women. Let's make that
No,
clear.
and you know what? That was the most interesting part of this podcast. The shows with her, I really thought that this was going to be a women's series, that I was going to take all these women on a journey to health. And wow, was it transformational for the men. I have had so many people come up to me, mostly in Status, but the messages, I listened to this and made my husband listen to this, and now he's doing XYZ, right?
So they use me as the guinea
Ooh,
pig. and-
yes, well, you
That's it.
became the guinea
I know.
pig.
I was in the hot seat nonstop.
All right, go through a few things.
So the hot seat for me, I know we've talked about this in the podcast, but ultimately I have high blood pressure, and I've been on medication now since my sophomore or junior year in high school. So a very, very long-term thing for me. And we talked about through Crystal, diet, exercise, healthy bedtime habits. I was a horrible, horrible sleeper. 3-4 hours a night were about it for me.
Yeah, you could basically got a
And
nap
that was a good
every night.
Yeah, and it was partly because I couldn't shut my brain off. It was partly because I wouldn't rest. I would not get into bed at a reasonable time. It would be 1:30 at night. And I would doze off, but then I would wake up by 4:30, and that was it.
But there were some habits in there that she picked apart and were transformational. And
right.
I want to speak about them because I'm so excited for you.
She talked about the bedtime routine.
Well, she talked about the bedtime routine, but specific, and I think you're dodging me on this, but drinking the sodas and the sweet tea. That was your bad habit during the day. You weren't consuming enough water, and you didn't even know it. And you just happened to bring up, oh, I love water. I just chug so many glasses of water before I go to bed. And she said, no, if you're chugging that much, if you're that thirsty before bedtime, then you haven't had enough during the day. Cut out the tea, cut out the soda, and you're going to sleep better. You're not going to have to wake up and use the restroom, and it has helped.
Yes, it has tremendously. In fact, just last night we were in the bed getting ready to go to sleep, and I looked at you because both of us had our phones out and we had the TV going. And it was bedtime.
And that's exactly what she said you were not supposed to do.
And I looked at you and I said,
yeah,
wait a minute. We're doing exactly what we said
and
we
we
were
both
gonna
shut
do.
our phones off and we shut the TV off and we laid there and talked
for
almost an hour.
It was conversation. So ultimately the habits have changed. As you said, sweet tea and Cokes, that kind of thing I've cut out. But also, too, we've made it a habit to do something else every night.
Oh, yes. The most transformational one for the family. We are cooking at home almost every night. Now, this is something, and people go, okay, well, I cook at home. We did not. We were the king and queen of getting something. Let's just go out real quick. Fast food, and not necessarily fast food like a fast food restaurant, but quick food. Anything we could go and just put food in ourselves and in our kids, and it's not healthy. And we have absolutely started meal planning, and we filled the freezer with things. And so last night was a really, really long day, busy day. We didn't even get home until 8 o'clock separately, doing different things. And we cooked, we pulled some fish out.
And had vegetables.
Yeah, and vegetables. And we made reference of it, that any other night before this series, that would have been fast food. Hey, grab Chick-fil-A on the way home, or grab an Arby's, or grab a pizza.
Or let's run get Mexican.
Or let's grab the kids and let's just go eat.
Chips and salsa and pizza and all those other. There's an Italian restaurant and a Mexican restaurant within a mile of your house, and ultimately.
So now we're using those for splurge.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, as a treat.
Yeah, that's our night out now.
Yeah,
but also too, we've mixed in the isogenics program. We're doing our shakes. At least I know I am. And I won't say there's a competition. I just finished one in the car. Yeah, there is a competition.
Oh, I will win.
Motivation at any cost. That's always there. But the vitamins, all those things that are healthy lifestyles.
Right. We have absolutely, and it's been very, very simple. Just taking it step by step. I cannot say that this was simple, just this overall life change. We started the meal planning, then we started cooking, then we started wanting to cook, then we started eating leftovers. I have always hated leftovers. And now we have a fridge full of food. Let's just eat here.
Right, exactly.
The kids are happier. We have sat down as a family.
And played games during the meal.
Yes. 6 nights a week. And then we go out, and it's been wonderful. So we have so much praise that this series has absolutely transformed us and transformed our family. Again, if you're catching this show, and you please go back and listen, go back for your health, go back for your husband, your friends, your family, your parents. I can't say enough about it. It's
and
the best
Crystal,
thing we
I know
ever
you're
did.
listening. And Crystal, we are following your direction. We are.
Yeah.
But then let's talk about the other guest. We had Lisa Mohajer.
Lisa Mohajer, yes. And her title is Mrs. Universe North America. Her story is absolutely fantastic. She fits right in with this Mind, Body, Soul series that we are tackling right now. Lisa, she started the Drab to Fab life, and that is the best way for me to describe her story, is just coming from government assistance and having a child very young, abusive marriage, and what she has turned her life into, so much so that she just won the title of Miss Universe.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's all incredible. It started with just taking control of her life, taking control of her health, and her life is the perfect journey. And I love where she's at, and I can't wait to see the big things that are in store for her. So another great show, and I'm not trying to plug these shows. I'm trying to tell you the information that we are giving you guys. I just love it. It just makes me so excited because I see the changes in myself and in you. Sleeping better, just my kids, everything that I've always wanted. You just have to do it.
Well, the guests have been perfect for the topic. Both of them have.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all struggling with something, and I know I heard Lisa say that and talked about identifying that struggle and attacking it head on and making a positive out of what could have been a very bad negative and letting it take over her life. So anyway, well, with all that being said and kind of recapping Crystal and Lisa's shows, let's talk about our guest today.
Oh, my goodness, you guys. This is the show I've been waiting for. She's got big smiles on her right now. This is a very dear friend of mine, but what she is going to bring to this show and this podcast, if you think the other shows were transformational, just wait. I do not think we are going to be able to cover this all in one show, but I am, without further ado, introducing my friend, Miss Vaughn Piero. She is the founder of The Spirit Mama. She is an intuitive healer that uses breathwork and energy healing as a pathway for transformation. You got all that?
Perfect sound effect.
Yes, I know. I love it. Woo! No.
I love it.
Oh, well, welcome, Vaughn. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know. We've been talking about this for a long time, and it really felt like we needed just the right show, right? Yeah. And again, I am in a Mind, Body, Soul series. You're here today for the soul, right? This is probably the most important. And I can't say that your health isn't. I can't say diet, nutrition. I mean, maybe I say that about every show, but what we're about to get into is I'm just so excited about because I'm passionate about it.
Well, it's all connected.
It's all connected.
It is all connected, no doubt.
Okay, so being that it's all connected, I don't even know where to start. You and I have done personal work together. We've been friends a long time. I've been on the table with you, and you'll explain what that means.
Yeah.
I've been in classes with you. You as the instructor. So what do we start with? What do you want to tell people that are listening?
I think we start with energy first because we are energetic beings in a physical body, and it is so important that we maintain our energy health. And that's the thing, like we don't have a lot of control over many things in our lives, but our energy is something that we can control.
Okay. Go a little bit deeper with that. And you said something to me, so I'm going to bring it to our listeners, that we have two types of energy, right? Mm-hmm. The right side and the left side, which are?
Yes. So our left side is our feminine energy, and our right side is our masculine energy.
I've never heard that before.
I haven't either, and that's for anybody.
Well, it's really fun because I've been a massage therapist for over 20 years, and until I dove into all of the energetics of us, of how we're made, I never really understood that, but I knew people would always carry pain on one side or another. And so I just would intuitively know where to go, and the conversations would always go deeper within with each session, and it would always somehow come out that's the way it was, that somebody was holding something on one side or the other. And now that I know what I know that it has to do with our energy.
And as a massage therapist, it would manifest itself in physical lumps and knots.
Yeah. I mean, we all have physical pain on some level, but it all stems from something. And I believe, like with our feminine energy, we're that's your flow, your fun, your playfulness, the caregiving part of you, just like the receiving part of you, just that nurturing, loving part. And then the masculine energy is more the go, the do, the organizational. Like we really need the balance of both. And I was telling you earlier, I was like, I'm so heavy on my feminine energy. I'm just sometimes people might say I'm up in la la land because I'm just like la 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 la, but I'm really lacking like the structure in my life. I'm not super organized, but I'm super fun and playful. But my right side, because of that, lacking that masculine energy balance, I'm always very sore on my right side. And so it's just so interesting when you think about where you might be holding your pain, where that's really coming from.
It's interesting. Now I'm internalizing this while you're talking, right? And I think everyone listening is, okay, where's my balance? Because I'm not extremely playful. I'm a mom and I have kids and I love them, but I'm not Derek, you're play.
Oh,
all
absolutely.
the time.
So
Derek's
playful.
so playful. I almost have to tone that down sometimes.
He's so heavy on his feminine energy. And I love it.
I love that.
Now I don't know what to say.
No, you don't have to say anything.
You're perfect.
But
wait,
I'm
say that again.
very, very structured.
Perfect, Derek.
Okay, now's where we need the sound effect. Go ahead.
I'm very structured, right? I can handle a lot, put a lot of pressure on me. I just my list, my to-do list, I can handle all that. But what's really interesting is when I am playful, the number one way I am playful is I dance. Mm-hmm. I want like just silly, just movement in dancing. And it's always been my thing ever since I was little. And I had a really good career as a dancer, but that's a total separate business or separate topic. But that's my point. I can feel it in myself. When I want to be playful, I don't make silly faces. I don't make silly noises. I don't know how to do any of that stuff, but I just move.
Yeah,
that is my feminine
your version
energy.
of play and fun.
I've never thought about it
dance.
like that.
Yeah.
I just always thought I liked to dance, which I do.
Yeah.
But it is is truly, I think, for me,
because that brings
it's
you
more
joy.
deeper.
You know, that's the fun side of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, that's really neat.
Yeah.
But you, Derek, I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, I know.
So you are very, very playful, but you're extremely structured as well. I mean,
So does that mean I have high energy?
That just means you have a beautiful balance, my friend.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You have a beautiful, beautiful balance.
Can that be my ringtone?
Yes. You have a beautiful balance.
Record that.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I just can't wait to see you after the end of the series. You're going to just be a total different person.
Maybe so. I mean, eating differently, sleeping differently.
I know.
Now I've got the playful side. I've got the fun, organized other side. I mean,
So
wow.
great.
You're going to be so perfect. I mean, what are we going to do with them?
Ladies,
wait, I'm
listen to this series. We are changing your men as,
You said I'm going to be?
Yeah.
Yes, always a work in progress.
See?
Yeah.
Always playful. Always playful. All right. I want to ask one more specific question about energy because I know this is taking it right down to the basics. I woke up this morning not feeling amazing. I didn't sleep that great. I just, and I'm every person, right? You're not going to wake up 7 days of the week and you're not going to feel good. And it may not be attributed to anything. Maybe it's raining. Maybe you had a bad call at work. Maybe your kid did something wrong. I don't know. But just in general, low energy.
Yeah.
What do you do? How, if we can control this, give me, and not me, give our listeners some tips.
So
what do you do? Bring that up.
The whole expression of raise your vibe, right? Or, that's raise your vibration. So because we are energetic beings and we each have a certain frequency. So as we are dealing with our emotions, certain emotions that are attached to our energies, that will bring our energy down. And depending on how we handle these emotions and our stressors throughout the day, they will get stuck in our body. And then as we are trying to have a good day and be in a good mood, sometimes that emotion just takes more than like our energy. And so ways that you can really help raise your vibration is through what I love is breath work, is breathing out that stuck emotion and that stagnant energy and really letting it move through you, and it activates your energy and literally raises your vibration.
So what we're talking about is if you have a block. Let's go with anxiety, for example. Lots and lots of folks suffer from extreme anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
You have an anxiety block in your system.
Yeah.
And the breath work can help remove that block, deal with that block.
It will help you move so anxiety is fear stuck in your body, fear of the unknown. That's
Right,
all
exactly,
anxiety
right.
is. And I mean, it sounds so simple, but
You kind of convince
obviously
yourself
it
of what's going to
controls us,
happen.
But it's literally, once you can fully understand that that's all that it is fear of the unknown stuck in your body. And then breathing into that anxiety, like breathing into our pain, or into our fear, but not just any old breath work. So the breath work that is so important is when we bring it into our belly, because that's where our central nervous system is. And so breathing into our belly really helps activate that central nervous system, because we're either working from a fight or flight place or a parasympathetic nervous system. So we're one or the other. So what we want to do is activate our parasympathetic nervous system and calm down our nervous system. But as we're doing that, we're calming the nervous system, but we're also moving that emotion and that energy through our body. And it can just take a few really deep, conscious breaths. But that's the thing, like you can't just like take a deep breath. Like it really needs to be done with intention and focus and allow it to, and it all comes to mindfulness, like really being mindful of the moment of how do I feel right now? Why do I feel this way? And how can I let it move through me?
Okay, so on breath work, I have experience in this only through you, but people that are listening, I feel like they're hearing, okay, so I take a few deep breaths, I get my mind engaged here and say, calm down, calm down, calm down. But it's a little more specific than that.
Yes.
Will you explain a little bit deeper? That's what breath work does, but what is it?
So the breath patterns that I work with, it can be done in different time frames. So when you're feeling anxious or nervous about something, you can do it for just a few moments just to help bring you back to your center, back to your heart space, where we're just like, okay, let's just focus.
Kind of a calming.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then if we do that in a class that I offer, like you've been to, in a class that I offer, when that breath pattern is done for more than, say, 15 minutes, you get into another zone of consciousness. And I describe it as a meditation on steroids, because you literally are moving so much emotion and energy through your body. That's one way, like that's one perk, is you are releasing so much on a physical level. And then the second perk is that it takes you into another zone of consciousness. You are in a beautiful spiritual place where your mind is clear and you're able to connect to your highest self and just really get outside of your body, out of this physical place right now, and receive the guidance and the clarity and all the magical stuff.
So am I wrong to equate that to some level of meditation?
It's an active meditation.
Okay.
Having done it and spent time in classes with you, so we've done some one-on-one sessions, and at the end of the show, we'll let you have it, so everyone interested, if they want to work with you and have some sessions and where your classes are, right? We'll give you listeners all that information. Anyway, so I've done the one-on-one, and powerful work is done in these sessions, but I've also done multiple classes.
Yeah.
And what you just described, the meditation on steroids, I mean, that's the perfect way. I can tell you how transformational this is. And being able to release things, and when you're in that state of consciousness, it's really hard to describe. It's hard to put it into words. I'm going back to this one specific moment where I felt like something was stuck, and I was laying down and I was doing the breath, and it was moving through me, and you're trying to move this energy, but it wouldn't go. And you came over and you put one hand on me, and as soon as you laid that hand, it's like it just burst out of me, and the tears came with it, but it was gone. All the pain around this situation and that was causing me, a lot of distress, it was gone, and it's never come back. I literally released it. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever done.
It's amazing. I mean, we hold on to so much. I mean, we do. We're human. That's just
absolutely.
what we do.
Right.
I mean, we hold things in, and then now in today's world, we're so busy, and we just kind of are like, oh, we'll deal with that later. I mean, when you think about how many times in a day you shove things in, and then you think, oh, I'll deal with that later. Like you want to deal with it, you want to process it, but you literally just do not have the time to do it now. And so it gets shoved in, and then it piles on top of each other, and that's when our health becomes an issue, because it is so stuck in there that it just begins to manifest into something bigger and bigger. And that's when we get hurt. And then, further down the line, that's when people can get really sick. So it's so connected, our emotional health to our physical health.
Which goes back to the healthy living and mind, body, and soul. So we talked about anxiety, extreme anxiety, but how about depression and situational depression or extreme depression? Situational depression, as in you've lost a family member or a friend or a loved one, a child, a spouse.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you've helped people through those situations.
Yes, absolutely. That excites me, because just last November I hosted a workshop, because closer to the holidays, people, it's so much harder to grieve during that time when you've lost someone special. And what we did in that time was I had a medium come in, and she was able to help people understand how to connect with past loved ones so that they don't feel so disconnected from them. And it just was so beautiful just to be able to bring awareness to certain signs, because even though they're gone, they're always with us, and we forget to connect to that space of knowing, and really quieting our minds. Really, this is about, is quieting our minds so that we can connect outside of our physical self right now.
All right. One other question along those same lines. I've heard the phrase, and I've used the phrase for many, many years, a mental block. Is that referencing kind of what you're talking about.
Stuck energy
Yes.
and
Mental
you
block.
know, like
I can't, I
writer's
just can't
block
get
or-
through that.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Writer's block. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I did not realize how blocked I was to all the guidance that, you know, like I really truly feel like we are so intuitively guided and led, and we have like this source running through us at all times that we kind of chalk off to like our own crazy mind, but really it's our soul that is communicating with us, that is saying, hey, this is really what you're supposed to be doing right now, and helping us to be aligned in our lives. So once we have all these fears and blocks and conditions that we've set our life as, I mean, this is just who we are, and it has so much to do with generational. I mean, like how my mom was and my grandmother, and just so much of it is definitely generational. And this healing work is one of my favorite expressions, is when you heal yourself, you are healing 7 generations before you and 7 generations after you. And I have witnessed it in my own family, really clearing the energetic blocks that were keeping me stuck in my life. And I know that the way that I am moving through this and learning about what those energetic mental blocks were from my own life, but especially it's really important to understand how so much of that is passed down, those blocks that you speak of, and being able to work through them. And the way that you work through them is by healing the blocks. But the only way to really understand that you even need healing is to start taking action, because when you start taking action on those aligned steps, that's when you're like, ooh, I don't really want to do that. That feels really uncomfortable. And then that's when the healing work begins.
And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck.
Yeah.
When you're facing fear, which is pain, they don't know either how to push through, or they don't want to feel it, right? We bury things because it's too painful, no matter what it is. Like Derek, you said, if it's grief, I'm going through my day thinking, okay, well, let's say my kid and I got in a fight in the morning, and it's like, okay, I'm going to stuff that. I'm going to go about my day, and then I'm going to deal with it when the kid gets home. There's still stuff that is stuffed, right? And you carry that around, and that's a small example. But, you know, people that have had very serious trauma in their life, I can't imagine, you know, how much pain is deep and dark and stuck in there.
Yeah.
So it can be very transformational.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, just being aware of how you want your life. I mean, that's, like I said, the healing journey only begins when you're really trying to take control of your life and really live abundantly, you know, like live your life how your soul is calling you to live it.
All right, what put you on this journey? Well, okay, I'm going to put you in the hot seat now. And
so that is the perfect thing, because that's what I did. So I was listening to Oprah radio one day, and as she's so wise, she was like, what's your dream? And I just began to think, like, what is my dream? And I realized I was very stuck and stagnant. I mean, I was happy. That's the thing, is I was happy living life. I'm married, have 2 healthy kids, great family, friends, like everything was quite perfect. But when I really thought about where I was in my life, I wasn't evolving. I wasn't growing. I wasn't going into anything bigger and better. And that's when I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing with myself? And as I started to dream, I realized that every part of me was like, no, that's not possible for you. You couldn't have that. No. And then I was like, why would I feel that way? Like, why can't I have these things that all of a sudden I'm really dreaming of now? Or why did I never allow myself to dream that big before? And that began my healing journey, because as I began to, like my first dream big thing, I was like, oh, well, I'd love to have a lake house. Okay, well, how am I going to afford a lake house? I realized that I really needed to make more money. Well, how am I going to make more money? Every part of me was like, no, you can't make that kind of money. That's not possible. You know, but as I started going more towards that dream, I saw those blocks in my mindset, and it all boiled down to self-worth and self-love. And even though I was a very comfortable, confident girl, I realized that ultimately I did not truly, truly love myself unconditionally because I had a lot of conditions around my worth, you know.
Wow.
So
It's deep.
It's deep
and transformational.
I know, it is, but it's like that's the awakening, you know, is when you wake up and you remember, like, I think I'm supposed to be doing something more with my life. Or when you are really trying to go towards that dream, you know, of what is my purpose, when you're trying to go towards or find that purpose, that's when the work begins. And that's when you really have to go spend some time alone with yourself and figure out who you are and what you want.
So you talked about your background as a massage therapist and your many years. How many did you say? 20. 20 years as a massage therapist, and evolving that into being a spiritual healer in a sense.
Yes.
So when did you start that transformation from the massage therapist into, I know you talked about Oprah. And
so it's all been over the past 3 years, you know, like I just was like, whoa, I want to change my life. And then as I began to change the way that I was living, I went on a retreat, and then podcasts honestly were my everything. Podcasts were my go-to friends because when you're going through these changes in your life, when you're trying to create change in your life changes. And then just because you're changing, that doesn't mean everyone around you is changing. So that's where things get really difficult. And podcasts were so powerful for me. So thank you so much for the role that you're playing here. It's so important. But I was doing all the things, and while I was on retreat, I discovered the breathwork class, and that was the first time that I was able to connect to myself on a deeper level. It was the first time that I had really felt so alive, honestly, and so free and stuck in stagnant energy and emotion that I'd been holding on to for 40 years finally was moving through me.
And you didn't necessarily know it was there.
Oh, I had no idea it was there.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why that's why I love to introduce this to people, because I'm like, you don't even know what you're holding on to that we can release and feel so alive and free.
So working with people that are stuck, right? I know because we are such good friends. Talk about that, because that's the tough part, right? What is on the other side of that is absolutely transformational. I've walked it, you've walked it, but what about those that just can't go there? They just can't get there. What's your advice, or what's your path with them?
Well, they have to be ready. You know, I mean, honestly, someone that's not ready to go there, they're not going to come seek me out. You know, it's all in divine timing. When they're ready, they will. They will.
Well, even if they are there but they're not ready, they're just going to go through the motions. It's kind of what I would think too.
Yeah.
As opposed to truly experiencing.
Well, for example, I'll have friends that come to a breathwork class, and then they have such an amazing experience, and then they go back and they want to tell their friends, oh my gosh, you have to come to this class, it was amazing. But if the first person came because they were ready for an experience. They were ready to connect to themselves on a deeper level. Like, they kind of knew what they were getting themselves into. But when you drag a friend that's not necessarily interested or ready of going there, then it's like they're going to be being like, this is silly. What's going on here? So you literally have to be ready.
And set intentions before it, right? Work consciously. All right, what do I want to get out of this?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a release. I just want to. I know there's got to be something in there. If you know, like you, we're perfectly healthy.
Often I say actually do not set an intention, just because if you don't get what you think you need, then you're can be disappointed. But if you go in there just with an open mind of knowing that you're only going to receive exactly what you need to receive in that day, there's so many people that just have such cluttered minds, and so when they can come to that class and just literally clear their mind for the first time and who knows how long, they're just like, oh, that was everything I needed, you know. And then maybe the next time they come, maybe then they'll go a little bit deeper, but you're only going to receive what you need to receive or release what you need to release.
I guess to me that is the intention, right? Just to be here and I don't know. I always go in, I'm seasoned a little more. I want to clear.
Yeah.
Get rid of something.
Well, I'll say this too, as her person, when she's come home from sessions with you, she's exhausted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, physically and mentally exhausted.
The next day, too. I've even called you and said, is this normal? I have a headache. I don't.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
I mean,
it's
because
all that
when you're
energy.
holding, you know, we're so conditioned to do the same thing over and over every day. And so when we, you know, it's like we feel comfortable in that version of ourselves. And so when we move some of that stuff that is a part of us, you know, a part of is who we are, you know, like this is what I do, this is who I am. But when we move some of that through us, then it's like our body has a physical reaction, and where it's just like, wait, what just happened? No, this is not comfortable. we don't release that stuff. We don't show our emotions.
Yeah.
And then so it just kind of stirs up the whole body where it feels a little uncomfortable, but I always think it's so exciting because I know it's work, but on the other side of that work is freedom.
Okay, I have not been through a session, so
Well, I was
going to
say, are you ready?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. I wasn't going there yet, but
Okay.
I want to ask you a question. You used a term earlier, and I meant to ask at the moment to get a definition, and I will ask now. Chakra. Define what that means.
Yes, so it's funny because I had always been very interested in chakras, but I always thought that was for other people, you know, like other woo-woo people, and I was like, whatever. And through all of my healing experiences with myself is when I discovered true energy and chakras. So we are made of energy, and our energy centers they're separated into different parts called our chakras, and each chakra has like an emotional compartment that things hold on to. So there's 7 main chakras, which I won't get into them right now, but there's 7 main ones, and each chakra whole is like responsible for different parts of your emotions and the way that you show up in life, or the way that you hold certain emotions in, and it will block a certain area of your body, which this is fascinating to me as well. I mean, so like we have a chakra that's in our gut area. And so when we are holding emotions in for that particular chakra, we will have health effects that really trigger like low back pain or your gut health. Or and this is where it gets so connected. And once you begin to make the understanding of that emotional health that's attached to the energetic health, how it wraps itself around into all of the physical
And it
beings.
manifests as the physical. Wow.
So mentally, you can connect to the chakras.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was trying to understand.
Yeah.
You used the term, and I didn't know.
Yeah. Our energy centers are just fascinating. And now that I do energy healing, I can literally like run my hands over the energy centers, the chakras, and feel what emotion is attached to that stuckness in the chakra.
That's what I said about laying on the table.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in a session, and I can talk about this, right? Laid out, you have a table.
Like a
you have
massage table.
table, right, in your space, and was just really stuck, was really going through a hard time. And it was interesting. I remember you kind of waving your hand in a circular motion right over my solar plexus. And you were saying, this is just really gray. It's really stuck. There's not a really good energy flow right here. And we stayed on it and kind of went into the meditation and were able to pinpoint with 100% accuracy what the situation was that was holding me stuck.
Yeah, what the emotional memory.
And we went through it, and we cried and screamed and pushed it through, and then that energy started flowing again. Yeah.
And each chakra has a color associated with it, and so you mentioned that that solar plexus was kind of gray color, and it's typically a very yellow, vibrant color. And it's so fun to literally feel that vibration shift, you know, the frequency that is coming out of that chakra. So with that emotional gunk that you were holding on to, it was becoming slow and stagnant. Our chakras are supposed to spin really, really fast, which is, you know, our energy, because our high vibration.
Yep.
So, but the more emotion that we're holding on to that chakra, then it kind of is like thickens it. It's gunk, and it slows down that wheel that's supposed to be turning really fast. And so as you release that emotional pain and that stagnant energy, it's able to be free, and it spins faster and faster, and the color becomes more and more vibrant. And that's also like where our auras come from, which is what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a vibrant aura.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes.
I've heard that.
You have a very feminine aura.
Oh,
Because you're so playful.
well, I don't know what to say. I
No,
really don't.
it's sweet.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful balance.
Thank
Good.
you.
You're perfect.
Thank you. Perfect.
Well,
I'm sorry,
I mean,
you
I-
said perfect, right?
Oh, please.
Just
Can I
making sure.
finish?
You are
You're still
too, Lena.
playing. See? I'm the masculine. Maybe that's why we balance so
It
well. I'm trying to
absolutely
keep the
is. I
show on
love it.
pace here, and he's over here playing around.
I'm sorry. She told me I'm perfect. I don't know if you
Okay.
heard that. or
See?
not. Just so we're clear, I'm perfect.
We're not going to get to 2.5
That's
in one day.
PERFECT.
Okay.
I'm perfect.
Oh, my Lord. Here we go. Mike, turn his mic off, okay? No, just kidding. We've covered a lot, and a lot of this people have, maybe some have dabbled in this, and they've heard of energy and intuition, and they don't know what breath work, and they didn't know chakras, but there's so much we could cover. We could go so much more in depth, but I think this was a great first overview for everyone to really explain how it's all connected.
Yeah.
It is mind, body, soul. They do not say that and put those three words together for no reason. So thank you for being here. I'm going to turn it over to you. We haven't even talked about the Spirit Mama.
Oh,
So
Or the
you
salt
got to
caves
tell
or
us.
any of those
Well,
things.
we
Yeah.
got another show. But tell us how someone, if they want some energy healing, can they do this virtually? Talk about the Spirit Mama.
Yes, so I've just launched the Spirit Mama, which is a thank you, which is a healing platform, because the thing with ourselves is can you even imagine loving yourself so much, like that much unconditionally, is how a mother loves her child? You know, like it's so hard to comprehend loving ourselves that unconditionally. And that is how we are supposed to love ourselves, is that much. And it feels so, I know sometimes even it feels uncomfortable saying that, but it took me a long time to understand and allow myself to be loved on that level. So I'm also a very hardcore nurturer and mother, so I just loved that the name was perfect for me, and as a platform to really promote self-love, unconditional self-love. But I host classes around the Gwinnett County area in the Salt Cave in Snellville, and I'm there once a month, and I do a lot of classes virtually. I have courses available all on my website, and then if you're in person, you can come to my home where I have a studio, or I can come to yours. And, you know, every session is just totally different. It's really just whatever you need. Like, it's hard to create these things, these opportunities, when every person has their own individual needs.
Yeah.
So what is the website? Tell us that. I don't
It's
know.
thespiritmama.com.
So it is
Spirit Mama,
the-
M-A-M-M-A. The Spirit Mama.
Okay, I want to make sure we're clear on that.
We are activating the Spirit Mama within.
Well,
That's
because
right.
that's what's interesting. You're not the Spirit Mama. The Spirit Mama is us
Yes.
finding that within ourselves.
Yes.
Getting to that place of pure light, pure love,
Yep.
unconditional love, all of it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did you give us your Facebook
Yeah, I'm on
website?
Instagram,
Okay.
Facebook. Yep. All under the Spirit Mama.
Okay.
And Von Piero. If you can't find me under the Spirit Mama, Von Piero.
Spill Piero.
Pierro.
There you go.
Piero.
Just want to make sure we got that
Got
correct.
it.
as
Yes, and they can always find you through me too.
Yeah.
I will connect the dots.
Yeah.
well. So do I foresee another show?
Yeah, we could. Let's do some more.
I'm
Love
always
it.
in.
I love it.
Well, anybody that's going to call me perfect, I'm going to have her back as frequently as possible. Just saying, there is that.
I love the healing. I love the work.
It's so
I love
important.
getting rid of the blocks. I understand it. I've done it. We've been working together for years.
I mean, at the end of the day, we all just want to feel free.
Yeah, that's it.
We want to be able to show up as ourselves. Without the fear, without, all
Fear,
the
anxiety,
yeah.
depression, pain,
Yeah, we
physical,
just
mental.
want to be free, be who we are, and be free.
That's what it has taught me. I even said, we're on a separate note, right? We're selling and buying, and you said, what's your biggest hesitation? And I said, oh, I'm just afraid. And I articulated that to you, but I don't live in that pocket. And I think that's what this has taught me, right? So I bought a house today without you knowing. Happy anniversary.
She's not kidding.
I was going to say kidding, not kidding.
Not kidding.
Apparently we are.
I bought you a house today.
We are buying a house.
Anyway, so I don't, but I took the plunge. Let's just do it. We've been thinking about it. It's the one. We're going. We bought a house. So, ta-da. But again, it's just not sitting in that spot.
So now the 2.5 anniversary marquee is a new house. So
that's it.
I'm scared of what 3 years is going to be. The vacation home, then 3.5 years, another vacation home.
It will not be a baby. That's the truth.
Well,
so
no.
We're past that phase.
Yes, we are. Well, thanks, Vaughn. It was great to have you here.
Thank you for
today.
having me.
I always love to chat with you, and especially since you called me perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that go. I'm not. I'm sorry.
I know, he's not. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us on Status Life with Lita, presented by Status Home Design, the Status Market, and the Law Office of Derek M. Hayes. Don't forget you can enjoy any of our episodes anytime by visiting businessradiox.com, selecting the Gwinnett Studio, and then clicking on Status Life with Lita. This program is also available on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, for Lita Brooks, I'm Derek Hayes, and you've been listening to Status Life with Lita on Business Radio X.